Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Patsun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/divorce, where OP discovered that he married a narcissist. Let's begin. Left my cheating wife. I'm a mess and so afraid. Posted by Reddit user JJDog22.
This morning I woke up in my sister's house and I'm immediately in tears. My wife, who's 31 and I 35, have been together 10 years and married 7. We never had a perfect relationship, but we were both happy. We struggled to have kids, eventually doing IVF and having a gorgeous baby girl who is now 2. It seems the past 5 or so years were all about getting pregnant for her. She quit her job to reduce stress, and I supported her in doing that. Financially, we've never had to worry about money because her family is wealthy and she has a trust fund which owns our house and pays for most of our bills. Despite this, I've continued to work as a lawyer, which I don't like, and started my own firm last year. In 2020 we were pregnant again after yet another round of IVF, and she had a miscarriage, which is very rare when you're doing IVF, I'm told. I wasn't allowed in the hospital with her when it happened, and she was emotionally scarred from the experience. Her parents and I suggested she should get therapy for it, but she refused. I feel like I did my best to comfort her, but she spiraled into a depression, and her way of getting out of it was to seek outside affection. One of the things we would fight about was my discomfort with her having friendships with other men, all of whom she met and had been friends with for many years before me, but I felt it was inappropriate for a married woman to be so frequently texting with the opposite sex. Most days we would be home watching TV, and I'd look over, and she was on her phone, often texting another man. Some of these friendships were truly platonic. I don't know if she cheated in the past, but she could have. I'm a trusting and forgiving person, and I gave her too much leeway. In retrospect, I feel like an idiot for not leaving her years ago just because she wouldn't respect my wishes that she not have these relationships. We had several blowout fights over me finding that she was texting her ex-boyfriend, and sometimes I felt like she felt she could do whatever she wants. This was also painful too, because I'd say everyone that knows us would say that I am a wonderful father and husband. I truly don't know why someone I love would be so callous to me, but she has been. After the miscarriage, we started to drift further apart. We didn't have a great sex life before, but after that it drifted from a few times a week to once or twice a month. I lost interest and so did she. We both admitted that we didn't enjoy sleeping together. She is very beautiful, but for some reason, I just stopped wanting to have sex with her, and she stopped trying too. I began to resent the fact that she didn't work and would spend her days napping or watching TV while I worked in our home office. Our daughter is in full-time daycare, and we have a weekly maid service, so she doesn't have a lot of responsibility. Anyway, in September 2020, she told me she was going to visit a friend in California. In reality, she saw her ex and later admitted they kissed, but it was probably more than that. I found out when I found texts on her phone about it a month later. We almost divorced, but we decided to work it out. So, the past 6 months were better. She went to therapy for her grief about the miscarriage, and we talked about couples counseling, but she wanted to work on herself first. I felt like things were getting better. We bought a new house and had a big party for our daughter's 2nd birthday. And she invited this guy, a friend she hadn't spoken to in years but had reconnected with on Facebook. Of course, I was annoyed, but 10 years of conditioning and fighting told me I couldn't object. Well, now she is having an affair with him and says she is in love. Of course, I found out by snooping. Even after being caught, she denied it and gaslighted me for days. When she finally admitted it, she said she wanted an open marriage. I considered it. I'd enjoy having new partners as well, but as we discussed it the next day or so, I realized that kind of relationship only works if you place your primary partner above all else, so my wishes should always be first. I told her I would be open to it, but not with this guy, because it made me uncomfortable that she said she loved him. She refused to stop seeing him and acted as if I was unreasonable. Day before yesterday was day 3 after I knew she'd been cheating. We agreed to this open situation, but I was still unhappy. I found myself crying uncontrollably multiple times a day. For one day, she put on the facade of telling me I was her number one, and she doted on me all day. At the end of the day, she announced that once our daughter was in bed she was going to his place. This upset me, and I started crying. She said okay fine I won't go, and then pouted for the next few hours. Finally, I just told her to leave because I knew that's what she wanted. So she left. I woke up at 2 a.m. alone with our baby crying. I called her and told her I missed her and would like her to come home. She was very annoyed and said she would be home before our daughter woke up, I guess thinking what I cared about was her helping as a parent rather than me wanting my companion. When she came home yesterday, she was cold to me. It was like night and day compared to the day before. I wasn't her number one, and she said she needed to think about what she wanted. I asked her to work with me on this open marriage thing and be understanding how hurt I am. I asked that she not have overnight stays with him, and she argued with me that there was no difference. This made me realize that an open marriage wouldn't work because she doesn't respect my wishes. She loves him, and it doesn't seem like she loves me anymore. So, I packed a bag and took my daughter to my sister's house. Since I left, she hasn't made any effort to reach out to me other than to ask how our daughter is. I woke up this morning to a text asking when I was coming home. I responded that I wasn't because you don't want me anymore. It's been over an hour with no response. I'm a mess, but I guess better not being there. I just can't believe this is happening. I feel so sad and alone and betrayed. I'm fearful about my future because she owns everything and I signed a prenup that says I get nothing but what I came in with, which was nothing. So now I'm 35, starting over with nothing. My law firm is just barely starting to make a profit. But I also miss her and desperately want her to reach out and tell me she loves me. I'm sure she's happy I'm gone though. I just ask God what I did to deserve this. How could someone I love hurt me so badly? For anyone wondering, I took my daughter with me, but I am not preventing my wife from seeing her. If she called right now wanting to pick her up, it would be fine. It's telling to me that she hasn't.
Bro, hire a lawyer right now and file while she's still in the affair fog. You won't get anything after the divorce? She owns everything? The way I see it, if she has more money and assets than you, that means you won't have to pay her every month for cheating and leaving you. You can buy stuff later. You're just 35. You're still young. You can still start over. This woman should be all but dead to you. She manipulated and gaslighted you. For 10 years, you were her fucking doormat. It sucks that you have a kid with her, but you have to let her go. She doesn't love or respect you. I'm so sorry you're going through this. I don't have much wisdom or advice to offer, but please know that your well-being and happiness matter too. You talked a lot about her mental health struggles, but what about your own? What the fuck has she done for you? Was your wife ever this concerned about your well-being during all of this time? If not, that's your answer, OP. She doesn't love you. So start making preparations to move on with your life. Now for OP's update.
It has been a few days, and I'm now living in my in-laws' guest house, which is close to our house, and my daughter who is with my wife. I really don't know why I'm posting. I guess I'm just sad and need some support. The past couple of days, I've been going the waves of emotions. First, I feel utter sadness and cry multiple times a day. Then, I reassure myself that divorce is the only option. My wife is seeing someone else and says she doesn't believe we could reconcile. I know that she treated me poorly, gaslighted me, lied to me multiple times over years, and failed to love me the way I needed to be loved, but I still love her and miss the days we were happy. Neither of us want a divorce, but we were both miserable together. I'm mourning this loss right now, and I don't know how to get past it. I know it's only been a few days since we split, but this feeling needs to go. Every few hours, my brain triggers this panic response, and it tells me you have to fix this, just talk to her, and work it out. I'm tempted to, but I know it won't work out. I want to deactivate that thought process, but it's uncontrollable. Part of that tells me we have to do this, for the sake of our daughter, and if we just focus, we can make it work. Again, my wife doesn't want to try, and she's apparently happy with someone else. Then I go through this post-mortem of our relationship and blame myself for a lot of what went wrong. I feel like an idiot and such a failure, especially because I prided myself in being a great husband, but in her eyes, I failed her and was insensitive when she needed me most. Knowing that kills me. Finally, occasionally I feel hopeful and mildly excited about my future. Maybe I'll love being single again, Maybe I'll meet someone that makes me happier than she ever did, someone more tolerant, she has a temper and loses patience, someone with passions, she really has none except her daughter, someone who exercises, she loathes physical activity, whereas I used to love it, but years with her made me less and less active, someone who I have better sexual chemistry with, we both admitted we had better sex with others before the marriage, someone my family loves, I'd say they felt they never could get close to her, someone that loves adventure, someone who would tell me, if they're unhappy enough, to cheat before doing it, someone that encourages me to be better. I hope it happens soon. Update. Today is 1 week since I discovered the infidelity. My sadness still lingers, but anger is breaking through. Tomorrow, we have a counseling session to discuss how we can move forward parenting our daughter. All I want to do is scream at her, and I'm worried I will be very angry in this counseling. As we speak, her new boyfriend is in our bed while my daughter sleeps upstairs. That really makes me furious. I want to demand that he not come over, but I know she will do it anyway. I can't prevent it unless I decide to sleep in the house, which I have the right to, but it would be painful, and she would likely just sneak out to go see him because I'd be there in case our daughter wakes up. Basically, I'm fucked whatever I do.
OP, you need some therapy. Also, try this. Get yourself a pen and notebook. Your wife is a broken person. She's not capable of loving another human being. She will only value their utility to her, whether that means basic needs or reinforcement of her own self-image. You know this deep down. You've been with her for 10 years. Why else would you have no desire to sleep with a beautiful woman in your bed? Do you know why she lost her desire for you? Because she can see that you can see her. You are in shock right now. She is somewhere else, feeding off the validation she's getting from some other poor bastard. She doesn't love him. She loves the attention he's giving her. She knows she has him fooled. And she loves that. She loves that so much, she's willing to drop a bomb on the safe and sacred home of her 2-year-old daughter. Look back on your relationship. You will see evidence of this from the first month. Collect this evidence. Hell, you even wrote down some of it here on your update. Each point as you remember it. These accumulated points together will eventually form a narrative, a recognizable pattern of behavior. And the next time you hear that panic response telling you to fix your marriage with your fucked up wife, you will take a look at this picture. You will fill it out further. Add some color, some texture, more details, and you will hear another voice telling you that you need to move forward. You need to get away from such a toxic person. If you can, take your daughter with you. You need to recover from what has been done to you. For yourself, for your daughter. That's what you need, OP. You need to stop simping and move on. Now, I guess it's time for today's final update.
I'm convinced my STBXW is a sociopath. After cheating and splitting up our family and dividing our 2-year-old daughter between 2 houses, this weekend she posted a photo of a wine bottle that had "Congrats on your divorce" written on the label in the emoji on Facebook. FYI, we are not even divorced, initial papers were filed, we have a divorce agreement, but have to wait 60 days for it to be approved. During that time, I could back out if I want. Multiple mutual friends reached out and asked me about it. I have unfriended her on everything. They sent me a screenshot and I sent it to her and said it was very hurtful and low class to post something like that. She said she had taken it down, but then wanted to know who told me about it. I responded it didn't matter and then wrote, "Just please have some empathy in the future, this whole thing has been so hurtful, and this kind of thing makes me feel like you think I was a terrible husband and person our entire relationship, and that's what posting something like that tells other people, that you're so happy to be rid of me. It's just sad. I wish you would have respect for our relationship and for me. I tried really hard for many years, and I loved you, and I worked hard, and I was always there, and had good intentions, I never intended to divorce. I was a good husband and that post implies I wasn't." She responded, "I do want to know who sent you that, so I can unfriend them. Is this woman a sociopath? WTF is wrong with her? We were together 10 years and married 7. And I moved out 3 months ago after catching her lying and cheating. Like, where is the empathy? This is not the first or 10th insensitive or ridiculous thing she has done since we split. From asking for things of mine that I took when I left, things she never used when we were married, like the vacuum she has maids, to asking me questions about her house almost constantly. How do I reprogram the door locks so I can't get in? Who did the turf at the old house? Etk. To blowing up my phone over stupid issues she never ceases to infuriate or upset me. If anyone wants to know, here was my long response to which she didn't respond. See, your priorities are off. You did the non-empathetic thing and ignored my plea to you and just focused in on your own selfish obsession with finding out who betrayed you. Nobody did, they just reached out because they were concerned and said, "Sorry, I saw Ellen's post about you getting a divorce," and I asked, "What post?" I will say it was more than a couple of people over the weekend and today. We have 88 mutual friends on Facebook, Ellen. Including a lot of your family members. You don't think some of them are actual friends to me? Not just my Oregon friends and family that hate you? Are you going to unfriend everyone? Please be smarter than that. And please don't post things that could be hurtful or disparaging to your daughter's father. It's like you want to make things worse. What if she was old enough to be on Facebook? Would she be happy to see something like that? And if you say you just make sure she couldn't see the post, you're missing the point. Our mutual friends deserve their privacy too, and just because you can hide something from people doesn't make it all right. If you do something malicious or insensitive, it's still wrong. Just know that shit you post will get back to people I know, and it's something you should think about before posting. I'm still Hayden's dad, and I'd hope you'd at least think about that before you do something to hurt me in the future. Please have humility and respect for our once great relationship that created a beautiful child, and don't celebrate like you were a battered woman with a cheating shitty husband you couldn't stand. I deserve that at least.
Right now, everything she does is guaranteed to cause you pain because she's an asshole. Everything she does sucks ass. Engaging with her does not accomplish anything positive. It only makes you more upset and disappointed. And if it sets her off and makes her argue back, things will only get worse. It's probably better to try and resist the urge to tell her what she should have done and just vent out to us instead. Your friendly neighborhood internet strangers. We'll listen to you. Be more sympathetic. That's what we do here. OP, I understand where you're coming from and everything you said was true. But look, don't engage with your soon-to-be ex-wife. All communications, everything you want to say to her or she wants to say to you, should go through your lawyers. Come on, man. Look, if she's a narcissist, which she probably is, she probably already knew what she was doing. But the time is now to withdraw any positive or negative attention her way. Now she knows she can get to your feelings through Facebook posts. So if you ask me, why not allow it to go on and document it all? Screenshot it and send everything to your lawyer. Build a behavioral pattern. Present it as solid evidence to better your chances of a favorable custody for your daughter. Just like how I like the chances that you will consider donating to me, your host PattSun. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my YouTube channel for you to watch absolutely free. So consider clicking that super thanks just below the video title, or you can use my PayPal in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.